Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Riley Livingston. Residents in Noxubee County can rest easy tonight. Noxubee County Jail escapee Tremarcus Webb is back behind bars after being on the run for almost 2 weeks. Webb turned himself in last night just before midnight. Webb and Jamie Welch escaped the jail after going through the ceiling and walking out the front door. Welch is also in custody after he turned himself in last Saturday. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is defiantly holding on to his political post despite mounting calls for his resignation after apologizing for appearing in a racist picture in a 1984 medical school yearbook. He's changing his story.
Not bowing to the growing pressure, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announcing he's not stepping down, changing his response to the photo that set off a political firestorm.
I believe then and now that I am not either of the people in that photo.
The Democrat now telling a source he didn't appear in this racist photo in his 1984 yearbook from Eastern Virginia Medical School. It shows a person dressed in blackface and another in the KKK's signature hood and robes. Northam told the source he didn't even remember the photo being taken.
I finally had a chance to sit down and look at the photograph in detail. It is definitely not me. I can tell by looking at it.
Northam changing his tune after apologizing a day earlier when he called the picture racist and offensive.
We're here today.
Protesters rallied outside the governor's mansion on Saturday, urging him to leave office.
Apologies are not enough. We call on Governor Northam to resign.
The Virginia Legislative Black Caucus, along with the NAACP, are also urging him to step aside. Several key allies have pulled their support from the former pediatric neurosurgeon, including former Vice President Joe Biden, who tweeted, "There's no place for racism in America." Similar calls poured in from several 2020 Democratic presidential candidates, including Julian Castro and Senators Kamala Harris and Kirsten Gillibrand.
So disturbing, so racist. There's no place for racism in our government.
I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
Travelers at Orlando's airport are facing long delays after a TSA officer there jumped out of a hotel window. It happened Saturday morning at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, which has balconies overlooking the airport's atrium. The incident caused some passengers to move through security without being checked. Travelers at half the airport's gates were brought back to security checkpoints, leading to long lines. All flights were grounded while the incident was investigated. One hotel guest says he saw the man, who was in his 40s, just before he jumped.
Up to our room on the 10th floor to grab a snack, and when I came out of our room, went to the elevator and saw this TSA worker standing on the ledge. And at first I thought it was weird, and then I thought maybe, I mean, you can see all of security from down here, and so maybe he's observing something, I don't know. And I didn't say anything to him. I wish I would have. I'm probably the last person that saw him. And I don't know, I just thought he was working, and got in the elevator, came down to the 4th floor, and that's where you heard the boom.
That TSA officer died as a result of the jump. The airport has since reopened, but many flights are still experiencing delays. It's now time for a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Jacob?
Hey Riley, we had a beautiful Saturday out there. Temperatures were climbing into the 60s. Really enjoyed a wonderful day for the weekend here. Seeing a mostly cloudy sky out there in many areas, but for the most part things are still fairly warm. Right now seeing some 50s and 60s out on the board. 62 the warm spot in Golden Triangle, 59 in Tupelo and at the Air Force Base. The warmth is all across the southeast. Really what a big change from just a few days ago. We saw those temperatures soaring and we look to stay that way as moving forward. Also though, we're watching a few isolated showers out there. I think that not many of these are reaching the ground. There's a lot of dry air at the surface, but tonight there could be some drizzle as well as some patchy fog. We'll also be talking about the spring-like weather, how long it lasts with those temperatures in the 60s, even the upper 70s. Rain and storms also continue next week. I've got the details on that and more coming up in just a bit.
It's a simple test that could save your life. Now you can take the test at a reduced price and help others at the same time. On Saturdays in February, Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle is partnering with the Lowndes County United Way to celebrate Heart Month. They're offering a heart score screening for $50. Half of that goes to United Way. The test takes images of the heart to detect buildup of calcium deposits. Dr. Hemraja Makwana recommends everyone take the test. He says it can detect detect blockages in the earliest stages.
If you wait for the symptoms, sometimes it's too late. With this test, if you find these blockages in early stage, you can modify your diet, you can be on certain medication which can stop the progression of the disease, so you can really prevent some major consequences down the road.
The event is open to everyone on Saturdays this month from 8 to 4. Organizers say that you call the hospital during the week to make an appointment. This year's Outstanding Citizen of the Year from Tupelo is a former educator who continues to make an impact in the community. Donna K. Randall was named Citizen of the Year during the annual charity ball at the Bancorp South Arena. The honoree has volunteered as a reading mentor to students, has worked with the Salvation Army's Angel Tree Program, Sanctuary Hospice House, Tree of Life Clinic, the Lee County Library, and the Boys and Girls Club. Randall says she has always wanted to use her skills and talents to bless others.
You know, I think when you have a servant's heart, then your eyes are open to opportunities, and when you ask the Lord to lead you to those places, then you have the courage to do it, and you're the one who gets the gift. Not the person that you serve, but you get the gift.
Randall is the fourth person in her family to receive the award. She has been married to her husband Benny for almost 60 years, and she has 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren. Some of the state's brightest young minds spent the day in our area. It was the Mississippi Regional Middle School's Science Bowl at the W. 6th through 8th graders from across the state spent the day answering questions, competing for the opportunity to go to a national competition in D.C. This was Karitan Kartanakanen's second time at the event. The Oxford 8th grader says he really excels in math and science and wants to be a pediatrician when he grows up. He says he most recently won his county's spelling bee, but what brings him the most joy is making his parents proud. An event representative tells students from Tupelo were the winners.
Every person, even if sometimes they don't feel like it, they always want to make their parents proud because they've done so much for us, and you always want to repay them back because as much as you can.
An event representative tells us the students from Tupelo were the winners. They'll head to D.C. in April. Punxsutawney Phil predicted an early spring for all of us. But as WCBI's Jason Hibbs shows us, there's another forecaster that locals trust a little more. And he's telling us more winter's in store.
Off Highway 15 in Chickasaw County. Only a few people were getting gas. It's the little guy in here drawing a small crowd.
It's just good for the community, especially when you're a small community like Anchor, Mississippi.
Glenn Vance is one of the judges, and he'll help keep an eye on the town's groundhog, Chickasaw JW, to see if he notices his shadow.
Well, we started out with a stuffed groundhog.
Tony Gregory owns the groundhog. He says he and his friends came up with the idea 10 years ago. And right here, they've held their own weather prediction event year after year.
It's less about weather, more about getting together.
It's become a regular stumping event for local politicians.
Oh, a little bit of everything.
A chance for Tommy Criddle to show off his stew.
A little bit of everything.
And a family affair.
That's my grandson, White.
Because if it's hot, then you have to wear your sunglasses. If it's cold, hold on to your hat.
He's telling us you have to wear sunglasses if it's hot and a hat if it's cold. Not knowing what the groundhog would do, Wyatt wore both. But in the end,
It's all shadow.
That means cold weather.
Looks like Wyatt can ditch the glasses.
Rough.
And hang on to that hat in Chickasaw County.
6 more weeks of bad weather.
Jason Hibbs.
Don't throw away your coat and your umbrella.
WCBI News.
Vance says if Lord willing, they will be back next year. Sports fans everywhere are gearing up for the big game tomorrow. More on that after the break. It was a frightening ordeal for a Florida hotel clerk in December. Working the overnight shift, rather. A robber jumps the counter and struggles with her for several minutes. It was caught on video. Now we're hearing newly released 911 calls of the clerk and what she went through. Here's the story.
We heard her screaming.
A hotel horror last December. Cameras capture the struggle between a robber and a terrified clerk that had been going on for more than 5 minutes. Now, the 911 calls from the frightening fight released to 7 News.
Where are the people now?
I don't know. They jumped over the counter again and left. He had a gun on him. I just didn't know what to do.
The attack happening at 4 in the morning at the front desk of the Wood Springs Suites Hotel off 595 in Davie.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
I was in the back and I guess they jumped over the counter. Had a gun at me and they tried to get into the safe, but I don't know the number, and then they tried to get into the register.
The masked assailant grabs the woman, covering her mouth. Before calling 911, she was in the fight for her life. That's when you see hotel guests in the hallway.
We were going down to throw the garbage out and check the weather. And we heard her screaming, and then he jumped the counter, and in his hand was a gun. I mean, you saw that in the video. I was just more like shocked something like that was happening.
The robber got away with nothing, taking only the victim's sense of security.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Okay? Just hold on. Just hold on.
The suspect remains on the run. With the big game tomorrow, people are getting ready to party, and the work starts early. Local grocery stores say customers are out stocking up for the essentials they will need. Palmer Shoppers Value Food in Tupelo has seen their fair share of big games. They're prepared for stocking up on hamburgers, chips, and adult beverages. And manager Johnny Jones says tomorrow won't be slow either.
Super Bowl Sunday is very similar to Thanksgiving. It's a food day. It's going to be wide open all day from the moment we open until kickoff, and then once kickoff hits, then it's going to be dead.
Local restaurants like Mugshots Bar and Grill in Tupelo are expected to be busy as well because they offer big screen TVs where people can gather for food and beverages and watch the game. We'll have more after the break.
AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Dickey.
What a beautiful day we had across the area. Even this evening, things are not that bad outside. A nice turnaround from where we were last weekend. Temperatures in the area still in the upper 50s to low 60s. Columbus at 59, 61 in Macon, Calhoun City at 58. That warmth all across the southeast is something that many of us are enjoying. However, there are some showers that are in the area. I will say, though, these showers do not look like they're making it to the ground here. Some light returns on the radar there. As we look in close here on our live Doppler radar out of the Gatman area here, that's where that radar's located. You don't see anything on here. One of the reasons for that is because our dew point values are so low, the air is so dry, any rain that tries to fall evaporates before it reaches the ground. Tonight, though, I do think that some of that rain may make it to the ground, and it may be more of a drizzle or even some fog in some spots. Temperatures heading for the low 50s and upper 40s overnight tonight. We'll call it 47 in Columbus, 48 in Amory and in Pontotoc, 47 in Kosciuszko, with the chance for fog likely starting after 3 a.m. tonight. Here's what we look like on Futurecast. You see a few isolated showers out there, but that fog really kicks in on our Sunday morning all across the area. As we go through the afternoon and the evening, then that fog will trade out for some mostly cloudy to partly sunny skies. Still, though, temperatures into the 60s, it will feel pretty nice out there. We see some of that clouds, or those spots pop into the clouds there with some sunshine sneaking on in. Very enjoyable as we go through the day on Sunday overall. 66 will be the high in Columbus, 67 in Macon, 66 in Ackerman. We see much the same in West Alabama, 65 in Vernon and in Soligent, Aliceville at 66, and then up north, Tupelo will get to 66, 65 in Fulton, Bruce at 67, Calhoun City and Water Valley at 68. If you think Sunday and Monday are warm here, look at this. We continue to warm up all the way through Thursday before that cold front comes through. I think right now that front looks like it comes through Thursday night into Friday. With the back side of it, back to more seasonal temperatures. And with that, with all of that warm air in place, it will give us the chance for on and off showers and storms throughout the next 4 or 5 days. Will not be a washout entirely, but still we're thinking that chance is there overall. As we look at the next 7 days then here, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, there's a chance for some showers out there with those temperatures in the 70s. I think it's more Tuesday night, Wednesday, even into Thursday, and Friday. We'll see what that front makes, that we could see some showers and maybe an isolated stronger storm. We'll keep our eyes on that. Those temperatures, though, into the mid to upper 70s by Thursday. We're back into the upper 40s and low 50s by Saturday.
BA Sports with Courtney Robb.
3 weeks ago, Ole Miss upset 14th-ranked Mississippi State inside the Hub. And today, the Rebels look to upset 22nd-ranked MSU, but this time it was inside the Pavilion. Kermit Davis and Ben Howland meeting again. The Rebels taking on the Bulldogs in a must-win conference game for the second time this season. Defense going for the Rebels early. Robert Woodard blocked the Bree and Tyree shot, or blocked by Bree and Tyree. Tyree leading the break, the crossover plus the screen, knocks down a triple there. Some more D action from the Land Sharks. Nick Weatherspoon this time. He's going to get blocked by Terrence Davis. Davis leading the break, finds Tyree open in the corner for the three, the pull-up, and the splash. The Rebels answer with a 13-0 run, but MSU would come back and make a run of its own. Tyson Carter this time finding Q Weatherspoon, hand in his face, doesn't matter. MSU answers with a 7-0 run of their own. Back and forth for the rest of the first half. Lamar Peters finding Robert Woodard on the baseline. Don't jump. Woodard with a ferocious jam puts MSU up by 2. The Rebels on the break. Devontae Schuler battling through a foot injury, but what foot injury? The smooth lay-in for 2 to make it a one-possession game. The clock ticking for the Bulldogs. Lamar Peters can't get the shot to go, but Reggie Perry right there to clean up the mess. The tip in at the buzzer. MSU trailed by 4 going into the break. And now in the second half, Bulldogs down by 1. Tyson Carter driving, kicks to Reggie Perry in the corner for the triple. The big fella stepping out from deep. The Dogs leading by 2, but Bree and Tyree giving MSU nightmares right to the hole for 2. A quick 5-0 run for Bree and Tyree, and Ole Miss down by 3. The Bulldogs trying to close. Lamar Peters step back mid-range. Jay is off, but Reggie Perry, the grown man board, plus the harm, the freshman owning inside the paint. But Tyree says not so fast. A quick inbounds triple with the defender in the grill ties the ball game at 73. The day would belong to number 1. Peters driving, kick to Perry for 3. The nail in the coffin. The Bulldogs get their first win in Oxford since 2011. Back to 500 in the SEC. WCBI Sports' Tom Eppel joins us live from Oxford with more.
Courtney, Mississippi State senior guard Quindary Weatherspoon was fantastic, 27 points, but that's what you would expect from your senior guard. It was one of the youngest of the Bulldogs that stepped up in one of the biggest spots of the year. Reggie Perry, all of this here, all of this belonged to the freshman. 21 points, 11 boards, 7 of those on the offensive end. Reggie Perry was a big reason why Mississippi State walks out of Oxford with a win that gets them back to 500 in the SEC. Head coach Ben Howland had a lot of praise for Perry's physicality and his mittens.
It's just his focus, his size, his strength, his hands. He has really, really good hands, phenomenal hands. You know, some of the best gloves I've ever seen on a player, and that's saying something. He has great hands, and so if anything's in his area, he's going to snatch it.
My confidence has been up pretty much since we started SEC after the first game, and my teammates have done a good job of putting me in the right position and keeping me motivated.
I just wanted to try to get a win. I didn't really care who it was. Just try to get us back to 500 and try to get on the winning side in the SEC for the first time this year.
How does confidence ever affect effort? But no way that would ever happen. At least I've never been on a team where confidence affected effort. I mean, it may affect shooting, may affect playmaking, but I mean, come on now. We're leading them in the SEC standings going in this game. So, I mean, I just thought they came right in, hit us right in the mouth. We couldn't keep them off the offensive boards, and that was the game.
I mean, just want to, like, you ball getters. I think we don't have enough ball getters on our team. Just we have to have more ball getters. Go get the ball. It's just that simple.
Ole Miss head coach Kermit Davis talked at length in the postgame about his disappointment in his team's lack of effort, something you don't want to be talking about 8 games into the SEC season. Ole Miss is going to have to jump back on the horse, having lost 5 of their last 6 games. The next time we'll see both of these teams, Mississippi State in action on Wednesday against an LSU team that very likely could be in the top 15 come Wednesday, and Ole Miss will try and get back into a good vibe, get a win in the one in the win column against A&M back here in the Pavilion on Wednesday night as well. But for now, reporting here inside the Pavilion in Oxford, Tom Eppel for WCBI Sports. Courtney, we'll send it back to you in Columbus.
Thank you, Tom. Some great insight coming from Oxford from sports director Tom Ebel. That's going to be it for sports. Your last look is coming up after the break. Stick with us.
A new sports bar is having its grand opening on Super Bowl Sunday in Sacramento, California. The bar is called Costanza's. It's named after one of the characters on the show Seinfeld. The owner says he's planning to always keep episodes of the show running on at least one of the screens. Of course, on Sunday, fans will also be able to watch the big game.
Oh man, I wish I could pull out a Seinfeld quote right now and use that. Hey, look, we're going to be warm on Sunday here, so there's plenty of places to spend outside. Just a little bit of patchy fog and some drizzle in the mornings, but I think we're looking mostly cloudy and overall dry into the afternoon. Warm though, Riley. Look at that. Mid-70s in the middle of the week. We trade off the warmth though with those scattered showers and storms. We'll be keeping our eyes on it. It looks like by Fridays things will start to slide out. Maybe an isolated shower into the weekend. Back to 49. Seems like 7 days, 4 seasons. That's kind of what we're dealing with around here.
You know, I am kind of excited about that warmer weather. The rain, not so much, but I can deal with some warmer weather.
Yep.
Everyone, a great day.